Welcome, you're watching the India Development Debate. I'm Tamanna Inamdar. The NDA government may have not had much resistance passing the new Motor Vehicle Act, which increased fines for traffic offences exponentially in Parliament. But implementing this new rule is proving to be a tougher task, including in BJP-ruled states. Taking a cue from the state of Gujarat that has watered down the hefty fines for traffic violations, Tamil Nadu is also looking at lighter fines. A Maharashtra government minister has written to Nitin Gadkari also asking to reconsider the fines. In fact, at last count, there were 10 states who've either refused to implement the new fines or want them reduced. The resistance comes even as stories have surfaced of a truck driver who had to pay a fine of over 1.4 lakh rupees, a biker who was slapped with fines that cost more than his two-wheeler. So why is no one fine with the fine? Is it too much, or do we need hefty fines to keep us in line? It's a question we've asked you on our Twitter handle as well. Please do come in and tell us your views, take part in our poll, and we'll tell you the results of it at the end of the show. But let's go on to our discussion. I'm joined now by Vikram Singh, former IPS officer, Dr. Sujoy Kantawala, High Court advocate, Mumbai High Court advocate, Dr. Arvind Tiwari, professor at TISS Mumbai, and Gujarat BJP spokesperson Hemant Bhatt. Welcome to all of you and thank you for joining us. Hemant Bhatt, let me begin by asking you, this is something that the BJP-led government at the centre has implemented. Why is Gujarat, a BJP-led state, in fact one from which the Prime Minister and the Home Minister hail, wanting to water down these fines?
Actually, the things are that yesterday when the Chief Minister Vijay Rupani announced the changes in the penalties of this new Motor Vehicle Act, he has categorically said that whatever which has been done, it has been done on a compassionate and a humanitarian ground. See, there are some serious offences like juvenile driving, drunken driving, jumping the traffic signal. The penalties of those kind of serious offences have not been changed. But there are some trivial offences like not carrying or forgetting your driving license, forgetting your PUC, forgetting your insurance and you are not having it. So these are the kind of an offences which require a kind of an humanitarian approach, or you have to look after some socio-economic ground of the people at the same time, the urban and the rural infrastructure as far as the traffic is concerned. And I think whatever the Gujarat has done, it has done very emphatically and in a human point of view.
Okay, it's not just Gujarat though. After Gujarat made that decision, a slew of states have joined in, Tamil Nadu, in fact Maharashtra as well. We're going to try and get a word from the Maharashtra government in a bit. Sujoy Kantawala, where do you stand on this? I believe you think it's a good idea to keep these fines up, and this is a view that has divided people's opinions. Many believe that hefty fines is the only way to make sure that we behave ourselves on the road. But aren't these too high? You have fines going as high as 10,000 rupees.
No, I'll tell you, we have to understand the concept of a fine. A fine is levied as a penalty for certain act that you commit which is not authorized by law. Now, if the law says that you don't have to do a particular act, then there has to be a fine. So it's a fiscal penalty. Having grown up in this city and seeing the kind of traffic problems that we are facing, do you know, Tamanna, all over India more than 1.5 lakh people die due to road accidents. A lot of them are caused due to negligence, a lot of them are caused due to various issues. In Mumbai, let me tell you about Mumbai. The roads are so chock-a-block with cars. There is a first parking that is on the side, second on third on the road. And people just don't bother about it. Imagine people who want to rush to hospitals. Imagine aged people. They have so many problems. So unless you don't have a deterrent so as to kind of discipline the public, then they are going to absolutely not follow the rules.
Okay.
And if you compare the amount of fines that have been proposed now to other countries all over the world, they're hardly anything.
Yeah, but
so
Sujoy,
I feel that if you don't violate the law, why should we be worried about the fine?
But Sujoy, if can you compare to other countries all over the world, considering, please let's look at the road conditions. in this country as well. In fact, I have Divakar Raute on the phone line with me, the Maharashtra Transport Minister, who has written to Nitin Gadkari earlier today asking that these fines be reduced. Mr. Raute, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
I do not agree with you. I do not agree with you. There is no question of refusing anything because the act which is being approved by the central government has to be obeyed by other country.
Yeah.
Here, the public cry about the huge amount of levied for the tax. I have just conveyed to the concerned Central Minister, Mr. Nitinji Gadkari. He is very sensitive minister as far as public is concerned. So I have just requesting him to consider the public cry and reconsider whatever he has decided. If he again decide the same thing, it is a binding.
Yeah.
And I am fully agree with the Gadkari's feelings about the road accident. People dies on the road,
Yeah.
and there should have a discipline on the road while driving on the road.
Yeah.
So they should obey. But all over the country, through your channel, different channel, you are showing the people's cry, about this huge amount of penalty which is being levied.
Yeah.
So I am just requesting Gadkari to consider this. That's all.
राउते साहब, आप दोनों बातें कर रहे हैं।
I'm against the Gadkari.
राउते साहब, आप दोनों बातें कर रहे हैं। आप दोनं बातें कर रहे हैं। आप कह रहे हैं कि आप फाइन्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं, लेकिन पब्लिक आउटक्राई भी है।
That is your practice of maintaining. But I am just clarifying what I mean, what I feel, and what public cry is being informed to Mr. Gadkari, which is being shown through your channel, different channel.
Yeah.
And I am requesting him to consider the feelings of the people.
So what do you?
Double
Okay. So Mr. Raute, what do you want? What are you hoping from Mr. Gadkari? Do you hope that these fines be reduced?
I know Gadkari is very sensitive about the public feelings.
Sir, आप सवाल सुन लीजिए please. So just one second.
Gadkari is very sensitive about the public feelings.
Yeah,
and he will definitely honor the public feeling. That is what I know him for so many years.
Yes.
I work with him.
So do you want to reduce the fines like the Gujarat government has? The Gujarat government says that those fines are upper limits. You can set them lower. Do you think Maharashtra should also set it lower?
You see, one thing, let me tell you. If I wanted to do it, I would have done it. Where the question comes, and if I reduce, again you are going to say you are dishonor the Central Government Act. That is who says the double. So please try to understand.
Yeah.
I want to honor the act published created by the Central Government because it is the Central Government who ruled the Motor Vehicle Act all over the country.
Yeah.
So this is the request from Maharashtra government to listen the public cry. If he considers, it is well and good. If he doesn't consider, it is compelled by the act, so we'll impose it. Consider the government.
What is the public feedback you're getting? What are people saying about the fines? What are the problems they are facing?
People feel that this is a very heavy fine.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Raute. Thank you, Mr. Raute. Divakar Raute there. Clearly, having faced a lot of questions, I'm assuming, saying that, why aren't you listening to what the central government is saying, has come on a bit of a defensive note, saying that it's just a request to reduce the fines if you can, otherwise we will implement as is. But why is there such a public outcry? Let's look at that. Why are people feeling the heat? So Joy Kantawala was making the point that, these kind of fines are implemented the world over. My counter was that look at the roads the world over. Let me come to Vikram Singh. Mr. Singh, just from the few anecdotes that we've heard and seen over the last few days, there are two problems that people are having. First of all, no one wants to give fines, which doesn't mean that fines should be cancelled. If there is a law broken, there has to be a fine for it. It does act as a deterrent. But the quantum of fines, people are finding those too high. And then they're saying that look at the quality of the roads that we're driving on. Look at the quality of management of traffic that we're looking at. And some people are also saying that these high fines are being misused. And then even higher bribes are being extricated from them.
Tamanna, this is indeed in a scale of 1:10, our roads and our traffic management would be something around 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
But this is a wonderful statute, and to take the alibi that our road conditions are abysmally low and therefore we need to revise the fine schedules would not be appropriate. My single point of reservation is that the way such statutes are implemented need to be censored, and with application of mine. First, education is an imperative part of traffic management. First, educate the people. Then tell them the options. Then thirdly, tell them what they can do and what are their rights and duties. Given them the time, Tamanna ji, you please go and see the PUC certification agencies are totally overworked. There are automobiles lined up for miles together. What does the poor person do unless he or she gets the certificate in time? And if the certificate is not there, do you think for a moment that any one of us, including you and me, would be paying a fine of 10,000? First, educate the people, give them an opportunity, give them ample opportunity. By the same token, if I were to question all the police officers in the country, starting from the police commissioner to the constable, that you have violated the IPS and the police uniforms dress regulations, not a single person in uniform will go unattached. All of them will be taken to task. But then you have to have a practical approach. The practical approach is, this is a wonderful statute. We all need to pay fines. And as Mr. Sujay Kantamala said, that by the time your program is over, we would have already lost 40 precious lives. We can't have that kind of a tragedy attacking us every now and then.
Sure.
So therefore,
no, it's very important. It's very important. But are those fines going to save lives necessarily? Are heftier fines going to save lives unless they are implemented well? Hemant Bhatt, I want to come to you because, you know, the Gujarat government has taken a very clear position. The position is that we don't want to penalize just for the sake of making money off people with hefty fines. We want people to be safe. So there's some fines that you water down, like for example, 3 people on a two-wheeler. And I remember seeing that statement, 3 people on a two-wheeler, you've watered down that fine and actually taken it off because you're saying that small families with, you know, 2 small children or 1 small child who cannot afford a car have to go out on the two-wheeler. Now, this is a tricky one because you know it's unsafe, but you're also looking at the ground reality.
See, there are some very sensitive issues. We have to candidly admit that. In rural areas, there are people from the very lower socio-economic class, from the lower middle class families, and they are, most of the time, they are using the two-wheelers. And if in a small child norm, when there are 1 kid or 2 kids, they are usually using this kind of a two-wheelers. Then the question really comes in that particular fashion, that are you going to penalize those families where they are taking the kid as a third pillion rider along with their two-wheeler? I think always all the sections and all the laws require a kind of a human approach, and when the Chief Minister yesterday announced that, he was telling the same thing, that in the rural areas where you are particularly looking after this socio-economic class of people, you have to change the law accordingly. And that's why the penalty has been reduced to 500 rupees or so. So what I would suggest is that whatever which has been done by the Centre's Motor Vehicle Act is a wonderful initiative. This was the initiative which we were longing for, and as a medical person, I really do feel that the way we are losing the precious human lives because of the violations of the traffic is really unpardonable, and whatever which has been done is a very good initiative. But at the same time, the heinous crimes of the traffic violations, like speeding the vehicle, jumping the traffic signal and having a disastrous accident, these are the kind of the violations which are to be penalized heavily. But as far as the trivial aspects of the traffic violations are concerned, there should be some kind of a compassionate attitude, and the Gujarat government has done precisely that.
Okay, and a lot of states have taken the cue as well from what the Gujarat government has done, or maybe they were waiting for someone to take the first move. 10 states at least don't want to implement this. Dr. Anand Tiwari, where do you stand on this debate? Obviously, after a point, the central government cannot force the states to implement such high fines. Do you think reducing them will dilute the effort in the first place? Do you think it's a populist move by the state governments because people are unhappy about paying fines? Yes, Dr. Tiwari.
Yeah, Tamanna, this is Arvind Tiwari, and you see, so far as the penalty is concerned, I'll come little bit before that, how the laws in our country are being either enacted or amended. You see, there should be the public consultation, because any law, whatever stringent punishment you can give throughout the world, there are evidences that the harsher punishment does not deter the crime. So therefore, there was a need, and always it is felt in India also, that prior to amendment to any law or bringing the new law, there is a need to have some kind of wide consultation, as well as also see the implementation part, that what could be the roadblocks in the implementation of the law. Now, so far as the penalty is concerned, I think both ways this can be interpreted. One way, for the rich people and those who are doing violations deliberately, like those who are doing drunk driving, those who are doing rash driving, those who are from rich communities, and also powerful people, either from the bureaucracy or from the political leadership or from the community, those who do not bother for violation of law. They feel that perhaps they can do and they can get away from the clutches of the law by hook or crook. So therefore, the penalty for the poor people, rich people will not matter much, but for the poor people, actually, because no much publicity has been done, poor people are not much aware of that, and marginalized people and those who are. So I think there is a need to look into this aspect also, that to begin with, there may be some relaxation and humanitarian approach as said by some other panelists, but in the longer run, I welcome this law, and I think that the provisions.
So relaxation. So Joy, are you agreeable for relaxation? Start slowly. I'm not sure about this rich people, poor people distinction, because if you break the law, you break the law, and you know, the fear is that police officers or traffic police who are implementing the law should not use this as an excuse to extricate fines, to extricate bribes, higher bribes, because suddenly the benchmark for the bribe has gone up, right? If your fine has gone up exponentially, your benchmark for the bribe has also gone up. Sujoy.
Yes.
No,
so you see, like
Sujoy, question is for Sujoy. Dr. Tiwari, question is for Sujoy.
There is a no parking.
Yeah, go ahead, Sujoy.
There is a no parking, there is a signal violation. Immediately the traffic cop takes a picture, and I have seen that happening again and again, and he loads it onto the system. So it's being implemented over here. Now the question is that there could be some solitary instances here and there where there could be a demand for a bribe. So at that stage, the person who has committed the violation has to take a call what he wants to do. I am not here to advise him, but according to me, every person who drives a vehicle or a two-wheeler knows what is the violation, and therefore I feel that if we want to make our roads safer, if we want our old people or our children not to have harassment, if we want our ambulances to reach on time, and if we want to decongest and declutter what is already so congested, then we will have to implement a deterrent punishment, and the fines proposed are absolutely okay for as far as I am concerned.
Yeah.
There has to be a deterrent factor.
So Joy,
Mumbai has to become. I am speaking for Mumbai.
No.
This is Mumbai.
But this is a nationwide fine. This is a nationwide fine and a nationwide rule. Let's not be myopic about Mumbai. What about the person who had to pay fines larger than his two-wheeler? What about the resident of Gujarat who pasted all his details on his helmet, and we'll show those pictures, and became a viral sensation because he was being asked for each and every kind of document again and again. So he just pasted everything on his helmet and said, please, leave me be. What about all of those people, Sujoy? Can you really justify almost 1.5 lakh rupee fine for a truck driver because of overloading?
So as Mr. Vikram Singh rightly said, that there has to be an education. Once the people know that for a particular violation there is a particular amount of fine, they will not do the violation. If there is a violation, there is a fine. If you don't violate the law, there is not going to be any fine.
Okay.
So for a person who does not want to violate the law, wants to follow the rules, there will be no fine.
Okay. So where does this question of compassion come in from then? Let me come to Mr. Vikram Singh. Where does this question of compassion then come from? Rules are rules, they must be followed in any case. You can't really give a leeway on rules or say you can like
Very
break
true,
rules
Tamanna
or
ji,
flout
that
rules
you-
for some time.
Tamanna, 2 quick points. This is totally misplaced compassion. You have to be practical. I know often we are on sticky wicket that what is practical is not legal and what is legal is not practical. Educate the people, give them some time. You don't have to be like the Shakespearean that you have to have a pound of flesh without dropping a drop of blood. That does not happen in the rule of law. The traffic policeman will have to be upright, professional, and wear body cameras so that the frivolous allegations level against, I don't say they're frivolous, there is some merit in the allegations being leveled at the traffic police. I have travelled in forces after the imposition of the new Motor Vehicles Act, and the desperation and the eagerness with which all the traffic police constables are laying ambushes. I don't say they're on duty, they are on ambush. In UP there was a free for all because a dispute of 10 minutes that one person said that he had to be on duty earlier and the other one had to. Yes, there has to be a faithful implementation of rule of law, but it has to be mature, it has to be practical, and it has to be people friendly. As of now, unfortunately, the imposition and the implementation is not proving to be very people friendly, and I do hope the police leadership reacts to it and gives what is the mature leadership so that the people do not take offense to impractical and whimsical imposition of fines.
Okay, what about the condition of the roads? Arvind Tiwari, let me come to you on that point. I asked that question to Vikram Singh earlier and he said that conditions of the roads cannot be an excuse not to pay heavy fines. Though it does lead to people's frustrations that if they get hauled up over not wearing their seat belt, which they should, and the roads are terrible, or cutting lanes when there is no lane discipline going on, there are no clear markings. What about situations like that?
Yeah, I think infrastructure and road condition also play very important role, because you see, see the potholes, many accidents are happening because of that. What is the accountability of the municipal bodies, the National Highway Authority of India or the PWD departments? Because ultimately you have to provide the safe routes and the better quality of roads. So fine, I mean this penalty, putting penalty is one dimension, but also in commensurate to that you have to give the services to the people so that we can minimize the accident. But another side is that so far as the rule of law is concerned, the example should be followed from the powerful people. See, like the political people, see the bureaucrats and the powerful people, they must respect the rule of law. So if this is happening, obviously the people, those who are watching this, they will come to know the law is equal and everybody is equal before the law. So I think there is a need from both sides.
Union
One,
Minister
as
Nitin,
has been said,
in fact,
the technology.
Yeah, in fact, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari made it a point when he was asked about this. There were protests outside his house today. Against these high traffic penalties, and we'll play those visuals for you too. But he was asked about the high penalties a few days ago, and this is what he said.
फाइन हो रहा है. अब वो मैं नाम नहीं लेता, पर अभी हमारे राज्य मंत्री और मुझे भी चालान आया. वरणी बांद्रा सी पेस पर मुंबई में मेरी जो गाड़ी मेरे नाम पर थी वो हाई स्पीड में जा रही थी, तो मेरे घर में चालान है, मैंने भी फाइन भरा.
But then let me come to the other point which was made earlier by Dr. Tiwari. And so Joy, you must answer this about the fines being high, correct, but exponentially hurting poorer people rather than richer people.
See, as we have all grown up with the Article 14 of Constitution of India that law has to be equal. So if a rich man or a poor man commits an offence, the punishment is equal. There is no compassionate ground as far as that is concerned. But yes, it is very important that the law should be equally applied, and the rich and powerful do not kind of just thwart the law away, but they also should be penalized when it is noticed. So therefore, now you have many cities in India that have got video cameras, the cameras who do catch the images and immediately load it on the system if there is speeding, for example. Let me give you another example of the Bandra ceiling over here. Initially, what used to happen is that young kids used to drive at crazy amount of speeds and all, and there used to be fatal accidents. That has stopped now.
Yeah.
So, giving that example, and also the fact that if you are going to even lessen the burden on few old people, few sick people who want to rush to an hospital, and if you are going to save lives, then I think that a law like this has to be welcomed by all. We all should respect the law, and if we violate the law, we should pay the penalty for it. It's ultimately a fiscal penalty which is involved over here.
Yeah.
Once now through, like for example, your debate, entire country is watching. People will know. People have WhatsApp groups, social media. People will now know, realize that this is a serious thing. Please do not violate the law. Please do not
absolutely. No,
drink
there
and
are
drive.
some clear
You have
examples.
no right to
There are
trouble
some
other
clear-
citizens.
There are clear examples. A few years ago, the entire situation and the entire, kind of strategy against stopping drunk driving or wearing seat belts or wearing helmets, those have been implemented strictly in the city of Mumbai, and they have shown some impact. Hemant, but let me come to you. Let me come to you on, questions of where do you show that humanitarian touch and to what extent. Now, the state of Gujarat, to some extent, has played a populist card. Have you given yourself a time frame for when you will again tighten these rules?
What I would particularly make a point over here is that in Gujarat, particularly in Ahmedabad, we have more than 500 CCTV cameras. In Gujarat, in all 8 municipal corporations and bigger cities, we are having more than 4,000 CCTV cameras installed. And what we are doing is, there is a remarkable improvement in the traffic sense only because of the CCTV cameras and e-memos that the people are receiving who are flaunting the traffic rules. Whether it is crossing the zebra crossing, overcrossing the zebra crossing, or you are not wearing the helmet, or you are spitting on the road. So these are the kind of offences which are recorded on the CCTV cameras, and the people are getting e-memos. And because there is a clear-cut picture of violation of a traffic rule, they have to anyway pay the penalties. And this has immensely improved the traffic rules and regulations as far as the cities are concerned. I think whatever which has been done by the Gujarat government yesterday is only, we are looking at some trivial offences, as I have earlier said, that if you are not carrying your driving license,
Mr. Bhatt,
or if you are not carrying your PUC, but anyway, there is an M-Parivahan app also, where you can carry your driving license, you can digitally carry your driving license, your PUC, your insurance. So there should not be a kind of a worry. But as far as trivial offences are concerned, the Gujarat government is certainly helping the poor and the weaker sections of the society. And as the time goes by, we can definitely anticipate that the kind of the rules and regulations which has been framed by the centre will be ultimately implemented.
No, but you have opened, whatever the intentions may be, Mr. Bhatt, you have opened the floodgates for other states to come in and say that we don't want to do this either. Dr. Tiwari wants to come in. Yes, Dr. Tiwari.
Yeah, actually, if we will see, 2 main features are also there. One is the community service provision, that some offences can be made compoundable. Okay. So that means in lieu of the fine, because you see that the provisions which are there, that for violation of this, the punishment should be given the imprisonment punishment up to 3 years or so. I think community service is a very progressive kind of idea which has been discussed in our country, but we do not have the broader perspective of community service and which will be the organization. So I think we have to work upon this. Second is the good feature is that the juvenile crime, particularly as was said by other panelists, that like many these bike people, young people going on bike, and then the havoc they are making in the midnight or on the roads. So the juvenile provision for the juvenile people, those who are driving this, I think this will also have the deterrent effect.
Yeah.
But there is a need to little more work on the education.
Okay.
Because the other stakeholders should also come in, Panchayati Raj institutions, urban self bodies, the police, educational institutions, and the driving school also.
Once they are fined, they will know that it doesn't pay. But such hefty fines, are they right or not? We asked you your view. We asked you your view on our Twitter poll. Here are the results on your screen. Take a look. at what all of you are saying, and we asked Gujarat, Tamil Nadu / traffic violation fines. Should there be a rethink on hefty fines for traffic violations? 65% people who took part in our poll said yes, 35% said no. So most people do want to rethink because, well, no one likes to pay fines. Does that mean you shouldn't? That's not necessarily the case. So I want to thank all of our panelists for joining on the show this evening. But before I wrap the first debate, I just want to give you my take. So as state after state hopes to water down the high fines, I believe traffic fines needed to be higher than they were previously. They can't be at the same levels as they were more than a decade ago. But the level at which the new Motor Vehicle Act has brought in fines seems unfair in light of the poor conditions of roads, unclear markings on many city roads, and the behavior occasionally of traffic police who implement the rules. Already, anecdotally, there have been incidents that I have heard of where the hefty fine is being used as an excuse to increase the base rate of bribes that traffic police extricate from passengers. If roads are not improved and fines continue to be used as a threat to get bribes, it will defeat the very purpose of keeping people on the roads safe. And of course, in the meanwhile, a lot of humor from all the memes that we have seen coming up from these traffic fines. We'll take a very short break, but on the other side, another important debate. Are millennials the reason that auto sales are being driven down? Was the finance minister misquoted, or was this a millennial dollar excuse? I'm coming back with that show.